To New Zealand, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you very much for joining us. The weather across New Zealand and Australia is looking fairly typical for this time of the year, and compared to what we've just had, not quite as extreme. Although New Zealand does have some heavy rain coming back in, more snow for the mountains and strong winds, but they're just sort of more where they're supposed to be. Not sea level snow like we saw yesterday in parts of Christchurch and Wellington even, and those bitterly cold winds that spread up and across the country. So that cold weather is mostly moving out to the east of the country. It's still going to linger a little bit in some eastern areas, but this high to the northwest, this calming high, is about to produce mild nor'westers, and that's going to lift our temperatures up. So this is tonight, the departure from normal, and what a change. You can see the western side of New Zealand right up to about the very western side of Waikato, the coastal side, look as though they're going to be leaning warmer than average. Average weather everywhere in the middle, and then out to the east, below average. So that's the change coming in. The warm one coming in, the cooler one slowly departing. So it stays cold up here in the very eastern side of Northland as well. But really, it's going to be a little bit milder tonight for many other places. And look what happens tomorrow. Warmer than average in a large portion of New Zealand. The areas with no shading, bang on average, normal kind of weather. And the pale yellow and even the pale blues, they're still around about average, but it's the areas in red where you will feel it's a bit warmer. I mean, considering the highs were down around 3, 4, 5 degrees yesterday, and now we're looking at 15 down in Invercargill. I mean, that's a really big bounce back. You could almost say that the weather is springing back, but I won't say that because it's too controversial. Here is the weather forecast for Wednesday, that high pressure zone out here to the northwest. It's a big high. It was actually in our Climate Watch video that we made nearly a couple of weeks ago. The cold weather just lingers on that eastern side for another day. That's very normal. But the northwest flow out of Australia is starting to pile up some showers on the west coast, and showers return to northern parts of the country after what has been a beautiful start to Tuesday. So as we go into Thursday, that high is still to the north of the country. The nor'westers move through. They become quite strong through the Southern Alps, and the rain starts to get heavier on the west coast as well. Into the early hours of Friday morning, this is 3 o'clock in the morning, the areas with the pink-purple shading are showing gusts to 110, 120 kilometres an hour. So Friday morning, pretty windy again, the usual sort of stuff, to be honest, coming through Cook Strait as you wake up on Friday morning. As you go through Friday lunchtime, you can see that classic cold front moving up the country. It is classic because it does the usual sort of northwest to southwest wind, and it falls apart the further north it goes. Cold air comes back up to about the central North Island, and then the next system is building up. So before we get into the next system for the weekend, this is the rainfall for Thursday and Friday. Shows very little over here in Hawke's Bay and only sort of 10 millimetres or so around the eastern side. But over here in the bright blue, 150 millimetres is possible over Thursday and Friday. And some of that falls as snow, but back in the places where it's supposed to be. So snow flurries again up in the hills and mountains, not down to low levels. Into the weekend, so we've got another system coming through. Here it is, a low or a storm down in the Southern Ocean, sending up another cold front. Windy westerlies ahead of it, so that will lift temperatures again for the North Island on Saturday and the Upper South Island. But then that cold change comes through, and by Sunday, the temperatures drop again nationwide. Windy weather blowing through, severe gales actually possible through the mountains. But again, eastern areas are mostly dry, but the temperatures drop all the way up to about Auckland. So rainfall wise this weekend, heavy rain again on the west coast with maybe up to 80, 90 millimetres, so not quite as intense as the Thursday, Friday burst. Fairly dry in northern and eastern areas of both islands. And snowfall actually becomes heavier this weekend. There could be over 50 centimetres, maybe getting up to 70 centimetres of snow on the mountaintops. But again, the snow showers are in mostly the places where they should be, but in the North Island, there just might be more snow flurries again affecting State Highway 1, the Desert Road, and maybe, just maybe, the very summit of the Napier-Taupo Highway. That is all from me. It's been a very busy past few days. The weather ahead is still quite busy, but just not as extreme. That's all from me. We'll see you again tomorrow, Wednesday, with our next weather update.